Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and I'm sure you need to know these 5 extremely important tips to improve your speaking. Really, it's so important. Let's have a look at all this. So, how can I improve my speaking? Or how can I make my speaking better? I know that all people want to speak English very well, really well, but really, what should we do to speak English perfectly, brilliantly, without any mistakes at all, okay? So I believe that you just need to know 5 tips. 5 tips. We're going to talk about these extremely important tips here you need to know to start speaking English fluently and correctly. Really, so what is speaking? It isn't only fluency. It's also about the number of mistakes you make or you don't make. So, of course, it's better not to make mistakes at all. So you need to speak English fluently and correctly, not only fast, but without mistakes. And not only without mistakes, but also fast, fluently and naturally. So incredible. How can it be? So incredible, I can't believe it, or unimaginable, unbelievable. Please share all what you know with me. So give us this information, give us these tips. No problem. That's why I'm here. Really, no problem. I tend to think everyone should know these tips to put it into practice. Yeah, you know that as I know that people know lots of tips, but they don't put them into practice. They don't apply them. They don't use them. But these tips are very special, and definitely you need to put them into practice, in your daily conversation. Good. So, what's the first tip? Well, you need to lose fear. I'm absolutely sure it's mostly a psychological barrier, or it's a psychological problem. Really. So I know that students mostly make mistakes for different reasons, but the most, common reason is the following. So they are afraid. So I ask them, why are you afraid? Why are you afraid? And just tell me one thing. So what thing? Really? Why are you afraid of making mistakes? Why? Tell me why. Why are you afraid of making mistakes? So really, what will happen? Who will punish you? So maybe someone will send you to prison. So what's wrong? So why are you so afraid? Maybe you are trembling. You are trembling with fear. Who will criticize you so sharply? You need to understand that you aren't in front of a teacher, when you speak English. So just forget it. Forget your classmates, forget your classroom. It's another situation. It's a completely different context. Forget it. Just relax. Take it easy. Just lose this fear. Don't think about mistakes. Don't think about bad things, negative effects. Forget it. Think about something very positive. And it will help you relax. Good. Well, so first of all, you speak for communication, and you need to keep this idea in mind all the time. You know that students, as a rule, students have lots of practice, so in the classroom or in front of a teacher, and so they've got used to this, context, to this surrounding. But in fact, it's another situation. Just forget about it. As I have already said, forget about it. Only for communication. So you speak English, so you say something in English, and I need to understand it. So your aim is the following. I need to understand your speech. Only this thing. I'm not interested in your mistakes. I'm not interested in your grammar. So you are interesting, for me as a person. I really want to hear from you, and you can write something positive or negative in the comments below. I'm not interested in your mistakes. I'm just interested in your ideas, in your opinion, in your point of view. I'm not exaggerating it, that's true. Okay, so what else can you add? What else can you add? Right. So the second great tip is that you need to know English grammar. It's so important. Really, I just don't understand teachers who say, yeah, so you don't need to know English grammar, just start speaking and you'll speak. It's impossible. Really, it's impossible. I often think that so maybe native speakers think so, but they have never tried to learn English by themselves, so it's a different story. So how can we speak if we don't know how to speak? Really, it's such an interesting question, really. So the thing is that you can memorize some common phrases, expressions, sentences, but we can't memorize all the sentences in the world. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's impossible. So it's virtually impossible, really. And it's something unimaginable. So we need to understand how to build English sentences, how to construct English sentences. We need to know the basics of grammar. First of all, basic tenses, present simple, just a simple group, past simple, future simple, and more difficult tenses and structures. If we know them and if we have lots of practice, we'll be able to speak English correctly, and so it will boost confidence. It will give us great confidence. So really, if you really know how to speak English correctly, what can stop you? Thing is that most students don't know how to speak English correctly, and as a result they have this kind of fear. So you need to work on your grammar, and you need to understand, you need to do exercises on grammar, and you need to see, yeah, so your English is correct, yeah, so you can speak English without mistakes, you do exercises correctly, and it will give you great confidence. Well, anything else? The third thing is that you need to have lots of speaking and thinking practice before speaking. So maybe it's a bit complicated, but this idea really is extremely important. So you need to have lots of speaking and thinking practice before speaking. So it's like speaking with another person, it's like having an exam for you, but you need to prepare for speaking. You need to train a lot. You need to undergo lots of training, lots of intensive training, yeah? So you need to train your skills and develop your skills, develop your talents. Okay, so what about speaking and thinking practice, really? So I think that I need actually to give you more details. So what do I mean? I mean that you need to think in English. I know it isn't easy, so it's mostly suitable for higher levels, so intermediate and higher, but anyway, so if you can't think in English right now, you just need to prepare for it. So if you do nothing, nothing will happen. So who does nothing? This person achieves nothing. You need to do something about that. So you need to translate your ideas, your thoughts. For example, you are going to work, yeah, and you're thinking about, something, and you can translate everything, yeah, from your mother tongue into English. So everything, what happens to you, so in different contexts. So your plans, your ideas, your actions, so maybe your studies, your conversations. So it's very useful. So if you do it, you'll have lots of English, and do it in your head. So you don't need to sit in front of a computer to do it. So I understand that we lack free time, we don't have enough free time, but you need to do it in your head. So I know that lots of people complain, about traffic jams. Okay, no problem. Maybe you're in a traffic jam in a rush hour, no problem. Just think about something in English, maybe in your mother tongue first, then translate it from English, from your mother tongue into English, and so on. Do it, do it, do it, and you'll be able to speak English automatically. Yeah, in your head, it's also a very important speaking practice. So you need more English, more exercises in your head. Right. You should also speak to yourself. What do I mean? I mean that you can do some things about the house. Maybe you can wash up the dishes, or do housework. Yeah, just speak, speak aloud. Speak aloud. So don't keep silence. So if you are among other people, if you're surrounded, yeah, so by other people, no problem. You can, do these exercises, speaking, exercises of speaking and translation in your head. So if you are alone and no one disturbs you, you can speak aloud. Yeah, so speak English loudly, speak aloud to yourself, so you can actually speak about different topics. So you can choose any topic, yeah, and start speaking. Good. Is that all? Not really. There are two more extremely important tips. So listen and listen more and more. So you know that it's easy maybe to speak, but the question is, what English expressions actually are you going to use? Natural or not natural, unnatural? And if you really want to use natural expressions, you need to know them. So maybe you don't have lots of time for reading. Yeah, you don't have actually much time for reading. So you can listen to simple text and conversations. We have lots of English listening and speaking practice on our channel too. So really, you need to see a model of speaking. So you need to know these phrases, these expressions, these structures. So it will help you a lot. So not only speaking, so you need to see a model. And last but not least, it means it's the last thing in our list, but it doesn't mean that it's the least important thing. So it's really important too. So practice speaking with your new friends. So it means that you need to look for them, you need to look for new friends, so and have a great time together, yeah, as well as learning English. So anyway, you need to have lots of speaking training. I mean that you need to find a speaking partner and have a conversation with him or her, it doesn't matter. So you can prepare, yeah, for your speaking experience or for your speaking practice very thoroughly, but anyway, you need to train, you need to have a real English conversation. So, and you need to use it daily, so it should be your habit. And actually, these 5 tips are absolutely essential. You just need to know them to start using these tips, yeah, and you need to start actually doing it, yeah. So, and if you do it, if you work on it, if you make actually something positive, if you make something positive in your life, why not? So just make your life brighter, and the world will be a better place to live in. Yeah, you need just actually to start using it and actually make the right conclusions. Okay, good, very good, my friend. And so I really hope that it will help you a lot. Thank you. Bye bye.